So Ryan and I just tried to do a live from Little Ruby. We have a storm coming in um, tonight. Well, it's here. The wind's here, the precursor. But something's happened to my tower on top of the roof. We are the last house up this canyon that even has internet. Everybody else, well, you can have Starlink or you can do HughesNet, I think. We're the last house that can see the tower over at Powderhorn. And then there's one that beams off of that at the top of the canyon that we can see. The roof of our house can see. So our tower is on the roof of our house, and it's wonky. Something's happened to it. So I'm going to have to call and get them out here tomorrow. I have no internet. I tried to do it with my hotspot, and I also ran up to the house to see if the internet was working right before 5, and it wasn't working there either. So I'm going to bump my live till tomorrow. I said live at 5. I think I'm going to try to get this posted. I think I'll probably do it at 4 tomorrow, because tomorrow's Friday. But anyways, I did want to do a live today. Today is a special day for me. 2 years ago today, I lost my mom. She had been having some dementia for about a year, and then in January of 2023, I was in Quartzsite at one of my events. I'd already been to one, and I was going to one the third weekend, but I was packing up from my second event, and it was on Martin Luther King Day, so it was that Monday, and I was going to leave Roadrunner BLM and go out to Dome Rock, I think was where I was going for that. No, Kofa for that one. And I'd been at Dome Rock for the first event. Anyways, I got a call from my brother that my mom was in an ambulance headed to the hospital in Twin Falls, Idaho, where he lives, and she was up visiting. I was supposed to go up as soon as I got back from Arizona, which would have been a whole nother week, 10 days. I was then going to Idaho to get her for about 3 or 4 months. We kind of were sharing her at that point, once the dementia started. Anyways, she was in an ambulance that day. It was January 16th, I believe. And she'd had a stroke. She's right-handed, so she had a stroke on the left side of her brain that affected her right side. She never did get that back. That was January. She had that stroke. Long story short, I canceled my other events. Canceled then a few days up in Williams, too, meeting up with my cousins from Prescott, and we were going to do some stuff up there because we all love Williams. But anyways, I hightailed it home, dropped Ruby and all my camping stuff, and couldn't get a flight. There was a blizzard in Grand Junction. Our airport was shut down. I would have had to drive to Salt Lake or Denver, and I have to go through Salt Lake to get to Idaho anyway. So the next morning at like 4 in the morning, Rye and I left without little Ruby. We just jumped in my truck and went to Twin Falls. Went straight there, where she was at, and went straight to the hospital. My brother lives up there, so he was at the hospital, but it took me all day because I had snowstorms all the way. It was the year that southeast Utah was getting storm after storm after storm in January, and everywhere I went was snow. So I actually got to, before Salt Lake, decided to come up through Jackpot, Nevada, because that comes into Twin Falls. It keeps you in the desert. You don't climb that big pass out of Utah into Idaho. What's that called? Snowville. But I hit snow. As soon as I got past Wendover, Nevada, I got into a blizzard, and interstate shut down, and then I had to go north from there. That was a mess. Anyways, I finally got there. So she had that stroke And then I stayed up there a week, 10 days, I think. We got her, she was in the hospital a good week, and then they moved her to rehab in Twin Falls. Got her moved, so I stayed up a few of the days. I stayed like the 2 or 3 days of getting her moved to this new facility. Then I came home. I think I had a real estate closing. And then I left to go back up because she wanted, actually her physical therapist called me and said that she was showing a lot of anger dementia, and she kept asking for me, and I was down here. I was trying to wait a couple weeks and go back up because there was snow after snow. We were getting it in Colorado, Idaho was getting it, and Utah was getting it. So I got that call like on a Thursday. So I took off on Friday, drove back up to Idaho with her again. This time, no, the first time I stayed at one of my niece's houses, but where they had moved my mom to. Right, get off the table. Get down. Get down. I'm gonna break it. Was closer to a La Quinta, real nice La Quinta in Twin Falls, right by the mall. So we checked in there. I would have taken Ruby all these times, but the snow was just horrible everywhere. So we checked into La Quinta for a week and stayed up there, went to her physical therapy. I was like her motivator. She was in a good frame of mind. She wasn't making any progress. She had the first stroke. Like I said, it was the left side of her brain. Her right side was paralyzed. She never got the use of her arm back, or her right arm or her right leg. They were working on it. They were hoping, because she was right-handed, but she learned in a couple weeks to eat with her left hand. She wasn't writing or anything. They weren't having her do that. At her age, she was 84. And so, but they were trying to get her to get some, to, what do they call it, where you retrain your brain. Yeah, I hear it all the time. Those brain games. Neural pathways, they can redirect them from a stroke victim to relearn to do things. They were hoping to get her where she could walk at least, but there was nothing. There was no feeling in the bottom of her foot on the right side. There was no feeling in her hand. It was just, everything was just dead. And it was a bad stroke. Her first stroke was a bad stroke. Then she had a minor one. While I was there, on Saturday, I had stayed with her. I'd eaten dinner with her. Well, I'd gone out and got some tacos. We ate tacos. I had to kind of just open hers up, and she ate it, just like open, But we had those, and then I went back to the motel. But I noticed she was super tired, and my brother had told me before the first one she was like super tired the whole day before she had that big stroke. So this was on Saturday. I was leaving on Monday unless something changed. So Sunday, I got there. Nobody called me, but as I got there, I went pretty early. I think I stopped and got some pastries from the bakery and coffee, good coffee. She kept saying, "Bring me good coffee. Bring me really good coffee." She loves Starbucks, the caramel macchiato. So I stopped and got her some coffees. And got there, and a lady was coming out of her room, and they said, "Your mom's kind of out of it today. She's really tired. And it's probably good she just rests." And, I said, "Well, can I go in? I'll just sit quietly." She was sleeping. So I went in and didn't wake her. She slept for 2 or 3 hours. She was breathing, I just sat there. I drank both coffees because hers was cold. And then she finally came to. She didn't want to eat lunch. She had already missed breakfast. She did not want lunch. She did not want to get dressed when they came in. She didn't want to get in the wheelchair. She was just very, not really belligerent, just exhausted and didn't want to do anything. And she kept looking at me saying, I'm just tired. I just want to sleep. And so I'm supposed to leave in the morning, like early in the morning. If I leave early enough, I could get all the way back to Colorado. If it was the middle of the day, I'd have to split it up because I don't like driving at night too much, especially on this end. We have all kinds of wildlife running across the roads at night. So I decided to stay one more day. Well, so then Monday I go there, and she doesn't remember that was the day I was going to leave, and she's talkative. Well, And that was the funny thing. Her speech was never really slurred, but like Friday of right before she had this episode of being super tired, we noticed her speech was slurred. And so it was slurred Monday, noticeably slurred. So they called that, there's initials, T something, but mini stroke. She had a mini stroke. But she even laughed. She went to physical therapy. I don't even mention that that's the day I'm supposed to leave, but now I'm supposed to leave the next day. You know, I'm still working real estate. I've got active listings, and I didn't have a closing to come back to. I had my husband here, my house here. I had Rye with me because she goes, and she could come and go with me, and they just loved her at the rehab place. And anyways, so I ended up leaving on Wednesday. I ended up spending another day. So then Wednesday, actually I left late in the afternoon Tuesday and got down to like Orem, Utah, got a motel, and then came home the next day. The reason I did that is because there was snow on the pass in front of me, and I didn't want to hit it at night or even in the evening to go further, so I just, 4 hours after I left Twin Falls, I just shut it down. But that then made a 9, almost 10-hour trip the next day. That's what I mean. You can do it in a day, but it's a long day, so it's still a long day. But I did finally make it home the next day, and was planning on going back up on the 10th of March, and she was supposed to either get released to a nursing home. They didn't want her going back to my brother's. The fact that she couldn't eat, she couldn't use her right arm, and she wasn't doing real good with the left, but so we had found a nursing home. She was on the list. We had a place to put her. I was supposed to go up on the 10th of March to move her. So she was 5 weeks into all this out of the 6 weeks of the physical therapy. And I get a call at 4:30 in the morning on March 1st that she had a stroke over the night, and they found her, and she was now, that stroke had taken out her left side. So first stroke hit the left side of the brain, took out the right, and the second one hit the right side, took out the left, and she had a DNR. So I have a mom that can't speak, can't eat, can't drink. We had turned in a DNR. That's what she wanted. I had her power of attorney for health. 4:30 in the morning, and I had to be, basically they said, you have to be here by 4 o'clock this evening to put her on hospice. You have to physically be here. You're the power of attorney. You have to do it. In the meantime, she just lays there. It's kind of a goofy rule. I'd never heard anything like that. So, I mean, I'm throwing clothes in a suitcase. I call the La Quinta up there because I don't have time to, the weather was actually good for that one, but I don't have time to hook up Ruby. And I grabbed the dog again. She goes with me. And called the La Quinta. Yeah, we have room. Come on up. And so, at 4 in the at 10 to 4, I was no further than Jackpot, Nevada, because there was construction on the road, and I ran into a storm. It was like a flash flood thing, and hail, and we were all sitting, waiting for this construction, like 2 miles long of traffic stopped on that highway, and 10 minutes to 4, and I'm supposed to be there at 4. So I called my brother. I said, where are you? Well, I'm still here waiting for you. And I said, well, I'm transferring the power of attorney for Mom's health for you to put her on hospice. So she's just not laying there, because they don't do anything on hospice, but they would like at least give you those little sponges where you could put water in their mouth. I mean, she hadn't had anything all day, and that was just tearing me up. And so he did that. Of course, I had to be on like a 3-way conference thing to handle that. They had to send something to my phone. I actually had to, luckily I'm in real estate, I'm real used to e-signing stuff. So we got that done, transferred that. He put her on hospice. I finally got there about 10 to 7, so 3 hours later, and I was only less than an hour from Twin Falls when I came to a halt there. But the road had washed out, so from this flash flood. So anyways, so that basically was the 2nd. Well, anyway, she lingered for 11 days or something and passed away on March 13th in the afternoon. And her obituary card, my mama. And so, anyways, then we buried her on the 17th on St. Patrick's Day. 20 years earlier, my dad had died on St. Patrick's Day. And then we had buried him on the 20th. But so March 13th to the 20th on St. Patrick's Day is all, I'm half Irish, it's all screwed up. It's not a day to celebrate. It's pretty much from the 13th to the 17th to 20th is all just about my parents, my guardian angel. So, anyways, I wanted to do a live today and mention that. I am going to, hopefully the internet will come back up. From the house, I think my hotspot will work and I can get this posted at least. It would not do a live. I got it to connect back, so I came back down here again, but I should have just stayed up there. But as soon as this little bit of rain passes, I'll make a run for the house and get this posted. Probably won't edit it at all. I'm going to try for a live tomorrow. I already think I posted something where I said live at 5 tomorrow, which I could do, but I probably should do it a little earlier on Friday. Not that I'm doing anything. My husband's in Denver for the weekend at a taxidermy convention banquet, taxidermy show, so he took a bunch of stuff over. So he's over there for the weekend, and anyways, so I'll try my live tomorrow. I'm probably just going to try it from the house, not try to do it from Ruby. But I got to get internet back regardless of wherever I'm at. So if you were, I had people waiting to join the live. I could see that. And so if you were one of those and you're seeing this video, that's what happened. And we'll try tomorrow. Please join me again. I don't know. I did everything like I did the first live. The first live took a little bit of connection to connect down here, but then it did. I was just getting ready to take everything in the house, and then it was like 3 minutes after when I started the live, it connected. It did not do that this time. And then I noticed it had dropped the signal, and we had just had a huge wind gust, and I actually heard something, but I looked up at the roof, and our tower, whatever you call it, satellite receiver, is turned. So it's not even facing Powderhorn Ski Resort where our towers are at the point. And it's just the light rain right now, but big rain and snow is coming tonight. So I may actually go up to the house and see if I can get it to connect. If I can, it'll just be delayed and I'll announce. But I'm going to try to post this real quick. And like I said, I'm not going to edit. I'm just going to pull it into CapCut and export it. And I'll watch it real quick. But yeah, go from there. So again, I apologize for my live, not going live. I really like doing them. And bye for now.